Hey, what's up everyone? So welcome to Yari Hearts Books. This is my first video of 2021. Was planning on uploading earlier than this, but things happened that I'm not gonna get into detail right now. I might get into it in a vlog later on, but things happened. Now I'm gonna get into like the groove into like posting this year in 2021. So this video, as you can tell from the title, it's gonna be my top 5 books of 2020, and I'm also gonna be talking about one book that was my least favorites of the year. Let's just hop right into it. So this is gonna be in no particular order except for the last book, which from the top 5, that's my favorite, and then I'll talk about my least favorite book at the end. So yes, so the first book I'm gonna be talking about is Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a story about Claudia and her best friend Monday goes missing, and it seems like everyone is not trying to help. They, like the adults, she knows something is wrong and that something happened to her, but the adults seem to not be paying much mind to her, and this just follows Claudia's story of her trying to figure out what happened to her best friend Monday, and the twists and turns that was this book is insane. Honestly, okay, so I have a vlog when I was reading this, so I'll post it up here in the card. Like the things that happened. So one of the things about this book is the way that, like the timeline that it's like the chapter title. So it's like, let me see, 'cause I can't remember. It's like the before, the after, 2 years before the before, things like that. So when you're reading it, it's a little bit confusing as to when stuff is happening, but then once you get to the end and you figure out exactly what happens, your mind is blown. Like, it was so interesting how Tiffany D. Jackson was able to like create, like, I don't know how to explain it, but that, like, once you figure out like the timeline wise, it's just like, what? And also once you find out what did happen to Monday, it's so messed up. And so this is like considered like a hard-hitting contemporary novel. Really is very hard-hitting. I did shed a few tears. I didn't like bawl my eyes out or anything, but I did shed a few tears. And yeah, so this is one of my favorite books from 2020. The next book I'm going to talk about is The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. So this is a adult contemporary romance novel. So in this book we have Olive. Her twin sister is getting married, and at the wedding everyone ends up getting food poisoning except for Olive, and the other person who doesn't get food poisoning is the best man who she can't stand. So now the bride and the groom, her sister and her new brother-in-law, cannot go on their honeymoon, so they ask Olive and, what was his name, Ethan, to go in their place. And obviously they don't like each other, so this is kind of like a hate to love situation. So they go to Hawaii for this honeymoon. Things happen. Yeah, it was just a cute little bit steamy adult contemporary. So yeah. Oh, what I also really loved about this book is Olive and her twin, they are Hispanic, so Mexican to be specific, and just like their family atmosphere, like their family like dynamics, I absolutely loved, because I'm Dominican and I could relate to a lot of things that their family said and did. So that's one of the things I really loved about this book. So yeah, so The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. Okay, so the next book I'm going to be talking about is Conceal Don't Feel by Jen Colanita. So this is, can't remember in which order. So this is part of the Twisted Tale series by Disney, and in each book they take one of the Disney movies that you know and love and give it a twist. So in this one it is what if Anna and Elsa never knew each other. So what I loved about this book is the fact that it was it was the same but it was different, if that makes any sense. So like one of the things I really loved was how actual lines from the movie were used in the book but in a different way. So what I mean by that is that they were the same exact line from the movie, but the circumstances that they were said were different from the movie. So I like that because like other books in this series, it's rare. Mainly the first book, A Whole New World, like the first 100 pages, which was Aladdin, that like the first 100 pages was pretty much exactly like the movie. And then with this, it wasn't like that. From the start, it's different from the movie, but it's still like the same characters and like atmosphere that you know from the movie, but it's different. Yeah, but the plot is different. So that's what I really loved about this. So this is one of my top books of 2020. The next book I'm gonna talk about, when I was like picking out books for this video and I was looking through my Goodreads, I was like, right, I read that book in 2020. And the book I'm talking about is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is the third and final book in the Renegades trilogy, and I absolutely loved this conclusion to this series. So you can tell I annotated all three books. I annotated it. I really loved how this story wrapped up, and one of the things that I absolutely loved was the epilogue. It honestly, because if you I should probably okay, let's rewind a little bit. So the first book in this series, Renegades, it is about this world where there are superheroes, and we follow two characters, Nova and Adrian. So Nova, she is part of the anarchists, which are like the villains, and then Adrian, he is a renegade and he's part of like the heroes. So we follow them, and we mainly follow Nova, where something very tragic happened to her when she was a child, and she blames the renegades for it. So she blames the renegades for what happened to her when she was a child. And her main mission in the first book, Renegades, is to infiltrate like the organization of the renegades, to gain information so the anarchists can take them down and take over. That's what the first book's about. So it's like a superhero it's a superhero series. So the reason why I loved the epilogue is because it honestly felt like like a Marvel's end credit scene, because you just literally Marissa Meyer just drops a bomb in the epilogue, and it's the last book in the series, so you're just like, what? So yes, I really loved that about this book. And yeah, so this is one of my other top books of 2020. So this next book is my top book of 2020. I absolutely love this book, and the book I'm talking about is A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Bridget Kemmerer. This is the second book in the Curse Breakers trilogy. And so the first book is A Curse of Dark and Lonely, and that is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. And basically we follow Ren and Harper, and Ren is under a curse. Beauty and the Beast retelling is under a curse, and basically his guard Gray has to help him find girls, because they have to break the spell, which is the same as in like Beauty and the Beast, where to break the spell somebody needs to fall in love with him. I'm pretty sure there was like that in the book too, but they need a girl to break the curse. So where they live is Emberfall, so like that's the realm that they live in, and they pretty much have like gone through a lot of like the girls that live in Emberfall. So now Gray is traveling to, okay, if the angle seems a little different, it's because I had to erase stuff on my memory card because it got full. Anyways, so okay, well, I was saying was that they basically have like gone through most of the girls that live in Emberfall. So now Gray is traveling to like our world, to find a girl, and that's where he stumbles upon Harper and brings her to Emberfall, and then things progress from there. That's all I'm gonna say about the first book. But this book actually follows Gray and a new character, Leah Mara, which I loved her. This whole book I just loved. I loved getting to know more about Gray, and then just following Leah Mara and some new characters. And then the end of this book, we find out something, and it leaves up in the cliffhanger, and you're just like, I need to know more. I need to find out what's gonna happen next. So yeah, absolutely love this book, which I was a little hesitant going into because I didn't love It Curse of Dark and Lonely like as much as I thought I was going to love it. I didn't love it as much. I love this one so much more. So it was a surprise to me that I just like fell in love with this book. So yeah, so that's my last book, that's my last favorite book of 2020. I think I had an okay reading year, and I'm so glad that I read these 5 books because I love them. So let's now talk about the one book that I really did not like, and I was so disappointed about. I'm a little scared. So let's just, if you guys have seen some of my reading vlogs, you'll know that I did not like this book. I gave it 2 stars, which I feel like is the first time I ever gave a book 2 stars. 2 stars. This is the second book in the Furyborn, what's called the Imperium trilogy. So the first book is Furyborn. So Furyborn follows 2 main characters, Eliana and Rael. So what's cool about the series is that their stories take place 1,000 years apart, but they connect with each other even though they take place 1,000 years apart. So basically I enjoyed Furyborn, so I decided to give Kingsbane a try as well. Guys, it was slow. I didn't really care much about any of the characters, and then we're like building up to this one like very like important thing, and it felt flat for me. I feel like from the first book we're leading up to this thing, and then once it happens, 1, it happens really quickly, and 2, it just fell flat for me. Yeah, and like I said, it was really slow paced, and it's so freaking long. And then one of the things that bothered me was the fact that one of the perspectives that we have, at one point something happens, and then so she gets separated from one of the other characters, and then we don't hear from her ever again, like the entire rest of the book, even though she's a pretty like big character in the books. There were chapters in her perspective, and then she just like disappeared, and we didn't hear anything about her again. But yeah, this was just a disappointment. I've thought about reading the last book, Lightbringer, just because it's the last book in the series. I only had 1 book left. But yeah, I read like other reviews, and there are people who love it, and there are people that are just like, but like a lot of the people who gave Lightbringer like a low rating, they also didn't love Kingsbane. So I feel like I will probably fall in the same boat. that if I because I didn't like Kingsbane, I probably won't like Lightbringer, but I may still give it a chance. But instead of buying the book, I'll borrow it from the library, like an e-copy, because I'm not paying money for it. I am honestly mad at myself for annotating these 2 books, because now I can't sell them. But I kind of don't want to sell them anyways, because they had beautiful covers, which just makes me upset as well that I didn't like these. Well, I liked the first book okay. This one I really didn't like, but it makes me upset that I didn't like this book, because it's so pretty. And the last the cover for Lightbringer is also really pretty, so I'm upset that I didn't love this. So yes, those were my top 5 books of 2020 and 1 book that I did not like. Please let me know down below in the comments if you've read any of these books and your thoughts about them, and especially if you have read the Imperium trilogy and what you thought about them, especially Lightbringer. Like if so let me know if you read Kingsbane and if you didn't like it, if you ended up liking Lightbringer more. I would love to know, because I would really love to see if I should read the last book in the series. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Like always, all of my social media links will be linked down below in the description box. You can follow me on those platforms. Give this video a like if you liked it, and if you like to, please subscribe to this channel to become a member of a little family here on Yari Hearts Books, and I'll catch you guys here next time. Bye.